songs, let me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc, where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
When you're done playing, just respecting the field, teaching them that aspect. That teaches them a lot, the character, and teaches them that things don't just happen, you know. You can't just show up sometimes and everything's perfect. You got to take care of the field after the games. If that's raking or doing that, just explaining to them the big picture, you know. It's a lot.
Yeah, the unsung heroes. We're asked to be present, but we're asked to be invisible at the same time. It can be tricky business sometimes.
All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. This is the Rec Room. We do a monthly show with Henry County, Georgia, where we pick a part of Parks and Rec and we just go deep on it and try to bring all the stakeholders, all the people that are working in that one area, and kind of pull back the curtain and see how they do what they do. So I really appreciate Henry County, Georgia. I got a friend of mine, Brian Dixon, who's in charge of running all things facilities maintenance for Henry County, Georgia. How are you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Man, we are making it. I can't wait to get your team up here. You've got what, 5 or 6 guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of us, something.
Yeah. So this would be. I'm excited about this because I know that you and I've had a lot of conversation, and it sounds like I'm doing all this work, but I'm not. I have an incredible team. I call them the baddest men on the planet.
Yeah.
They're very good at what they do, and they all have their niches.
Yeah. Yeah. And so one thing that Brian has launched with his team is called the watering can. And I anticipate our goal is to get something like the watering can going on in every Parks and Rec department in America. I think once y'all kind of see the work that they're doing and the impact it's having on the men that are running it, the attendees, it really is something that really kind of hands-on that or passes on that level of mastery that everyone that works for you has. They get to pass it on to the next generation.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So before we get started, just wanted to thank everybody for attending. This is a once a month show. So second Wednesday of every month, we produce the Rec Room with the help of Henry County, Georgia, and their talented team over there. Big shout out to Thomas and that whole team. And oh my gosh, your director's name just flew out of my head. I can picture his smile.
JP.
JP. Yes, JP has, man, y'all have a heck of a leader there. He's doing a great job. And so you can actually hear, thanks to Thomas, a lot of the Henry County, Georgia team speak at a lot of different conventions. We saw them in Louisiana. Where else did they drag y'all out to us? I know Louisiana NRPA.
Yeah, so it's Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, and Thomas keeps us busy. I think we've been, it's hard to keep up with. We've been all over the place in Georgia talking. And then we've just started branching out recently, going to like Florida, Louisiana. And we hope to kind of cover the whole country before it's all over with. Yeah.
And the watering can is a big topic that you speak on, correct?
Correct.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll get things going here. Jovi, why don't you go ahead and run those 2 promos to kick the show off, and we'll come back and bring Brian's team up and start a great conversation about the watering can with Henry County, Georgia.
It didn't start with a big studio. It didn't start with a massive audience. It started with a simple idea. One conversation, one camera, one episode. Back then, DPRS Media Network was just a vision. No guarantees, no roadmap, just a purpose. To tell stories that mattered. Stories from the Parks and Recreation community. Stories of leadership, passion, impact, and the people making a difference every single day. Episode by episode, that vision began to grow. More conversations, more voices, more people who believed in what we were building. What started as a show became something much bigger. A place where people felt seen. A place where ideas were shared. A place where the Parks and Rec community could connect, learn, and inspire one another. And today, we celebrate a major milestone. 500 episodes. 500 stories, 500 moments, 500 reasons to keep moving forward. But this is not the finish line. This is the beginning of our next chapter. In the months ahead and in the years to come, DPRS Media Network is growing into something even greater. We are building something truly special for the Parks and Recreation community. Something designed to bring people closer, to create stronger connections, to open new opportunities, and to continue serving the people who inspire everything we do. We are also expanding our reach through new partnerships, working with organizations who believe in our mission, partners who share our vision for community, leadership, and impact. And beyond the screen, we're showing up in more places than ever before, attending conferences, meeting leaders face-to-face, building connections that strengthen our community. Because DPRS has never been just about content. It has always been about connection. To everyone who has been with us, from episode 1 to episode 500, thank you. This milestone belongs to all of you. Here's to how it all started. And here's to everything still to come. The future of DPRS Media Network starts now.
All right. Thomas looks a lot like, or Chris and JK look a lot like Thomas.
My name's Chris. I'm a skater. I do a lot of blading.
Chris, you're a lot uglier.
Fantastic. Brian, why don't you go ahead and introduce your team? Welcome everybody to the show, and then we can kind of let you kind of take over the stage.
For sure. Welcome everybody to the rec room. I would like just to go around and let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start with Alex and Shane, and then we'll go from there.
I'm Alex. I'm a supervisor too for Henry County Parks and Rec. I'm on my 11th year here. I do a lot of logistical things and checking on my crews daily, and just a lot of truck time. I'm part of a small goals and maintenance team we have here, a leadership crew. CPSI, I'm certified playground safety inspector, one of two in this county, so that's a big proud thing for me.
So I'm Shane Massey. I am a Park Services Superintendent, one of two as well. I am the other CPSI for Henry County Parks and Rec. I have been here May 27th of this month will be my 17th year at Henry County Parks. I have just now got back into school thanks to Brian, and I started on my master's program a few weeks ago. So that's a big feat for me. I try to be more in operations than anything else. Alex takes care of a lot of the pointing fingers in the morning. I just try to make sure everything goes smooth throughout the day.
Austin, go right ahead and introduce yourself.
What about Chris and JP? Come on, man.
My name's Austin Collins. I'm maintenance crew leader at Intercounty Parks and Rec. Been here March 28th, was 8 years.
He's been here. He's been here longer than that, Craig.
Yeah.
Austin actually started out as a child in one of our summer camps, and he just rolled right into employment once he got done aging out at the summer camp.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
We need to do a photo shoot with that, Austin.
Yeah.
No, we're all right.
Fortunately, I'm in charge of marketing. So
Keep going, Austin.
That's what I say. You gotta move the name.
So I've been here 8 years. I'm maintenance crew leader for the special project staff. I oversee a bunch of the construction and carpentry work. I build a little bit of everything. I would consider myself a Swiss Army knife. I can do it all. If I can't do it, I'm going to learn how to do it.
Very good.
Oh, love that kind of attitude.
Yeah,
Need more of that.
for sure. Mario, go right ahead, sir.
I'm Mario Coleman. I've been with the county 7 years, but I've been with the Parks and Recs department for 4 years. I think I said a supervisor too. I have more so a supportive role. I do the risk part of it and the safety portion of it, and I try to put out the fires before they even get started. So that's me.
That's Mario in a nutshell. Mario, I had to send Mario on a mission this morning. Mario, he has a great nature, so anytime we come across some of the homeless in our parks, we don't immediately escort them out. I send Mario in. Mario, you want to talk a little bit about that, just a little bit?
it definitely wasn't me that called for Mario.
Say what? Well, yes. Honestly, my wife, she's actually worked with a lot of homeless. And if I was to just give part of my story, when I was in Orlando, I had a rough time and I ended up being homeless myself. And so I understand both sides of it. I know what it is to have and I know what it is not to have. And so I wouldn't say that I, have a sensitive side to it. I just understand that side of it. So when I do go out, I do talk to them. Try to find out where their head is at. Are they struggling or is it a spiritual thing? That's more so what I do, and I direct them from there. And once again, my wife, I contact her if it's something that she could help us with as well. Then I include her to try to get them some type of placement.
Hey, Chris and JK, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, actually, did I hit this at the right time?
My name is Chris Colmanero. I have been doing Parks and Rec for a long time. I know about grass fungus and stuff, and I do a lot of chemical stuff. Oh, no, wait. This is Chris Colmanero. My bad. Chris Colmanero and JK Lee, everybody.
How's it going?
Hey, guys.
Last time you'll see me today.
So,
I'm Chris Coleman.
guys, I'm sorry we had to relocate you across town. Everybody was just introducing themselves. You walked in at the right time. So go right ahead, Chris. Introduce yourself. Give us a little bit about what you do here.
I'm Chris Colmanero. I'm a park superintendent. I've been with Henry County now for 10 years. I'm also a turf grass manager. I oversee 150 acres of sports turf and 1,200 acres of green space.
I'm JK Lee. I've been with maintenance for 7 years, and along with Chris, I got my Category 24 pesticide license and do some of the chemical applications and things like that.
Very good. Well, guys, what I'm going to do, we're going to move into a part of the show where I'm going to ask you questions based off of what we're doing here. And so I'll bounce around a little bit and ask you a few things about the watering can and specifically what you do. So I'm going to start with Shane. Shane, I want to dive into the watering can just a little bit, and I want to know what kind of impact do you see it having on the younger generation today that we deal with?
So one story I have about that, we are going into our 4th year of the watering can. Year 3 was our best year we've had. We had a gentleman that was 13, 14 years old. we made such an impact on him throughout the program that he asked if he would be able to come and assist us at one of our events. And so I'm not going to tell him no, so he shows up at our Goodbye Summer event, and we give him a staff shirt just as he was one of our guys. And he stayed around our guys and picked up trash, moved tables, run water hose. I mean, he did literally everything that our maintenance guys did. And we kept telling him, go enjoy the water slides, go to the food truck, do whatever you need to do. He stayed right there with us. And at the end of it, he said, "This has been the most fun I've had at one of y'all's events in years." So I thought that was pretty cool for him to say that. And, but for also him to be on the backside of that as well, to kind of see the behind the scenes of what we do and enjoy it as much as he did.
Yeah, I agree. I remember that young man. I think we actually celebrated him during the graduation ceremony and highlighted that moment. Did we not?
We sure did. We sure did.
How old was he?
He's probably 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris, let me ask you a question. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was thinking about the watering can and you guys. Do you have a moment that you can speak about where maybe you were around a kid that had like a light bulb moment in front of you and realized that, man, this is something that I'm kind of interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. There was an instance where we had a kid checking out some really nice grass, and he likes sports. So I mentioned to him, that this is an avenue that you could take and eventually end up on a major league sports field or a college sports field and working alongside of professional athletes and being on the same level as that. And
so, I mean, you and I have had this conversation several times and we've had this conversation with other organizations, how we feel like that the agriculture side of what we do is kind of a dying breed, and we don't have a lot of the younger generation jumping into golf course superintendent, jumping into being sport turf managers. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it is a dying breed. A lot of people, don't really see that as a career choice, but it is out there, and there are a lot of golf courses and departments like ours that need that help.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid career choices there. I know there's a lot of colleges that offer, agricultural degrees, whether it be working on tractors or whether it's sports science or whatever avenue. They have a lot of different degree options for that. And I'm gonna jump back to Shane real quick, because this brings up a point too. I know we do a lot of community outreach stuff, and we try to get into the schools and do mock interviews and things like that. Shane, do you feel like that if organizations across the nation would be a little more involved in that way, do you feel like that we could potentially pick off talent at a young age and navigate them towards more of a career path of what we do?
Absolutely. So I do mock interviews at one of the high schools that is right down the street from us. This is if they ask me to do it next year, it will be my 4th year doing that as well. And I love it. The first year I was kind of asked / told to do it. I didn't really know what to expect coming into it, but I have volunteered every year after that. A lot of you have some kids in high school that know what they want to do for a living. They know what college they want to go to or what trade school they want to go to. But then you also have kids that come in that have no idea what they want to do. So you ask what their interests are. You only have, 10, 15 minutes with them at a time. You ask them what their interests are, and they say, like, I like baseball, I like football, I like being outside, I like getting my hands dirty. And, that's when that light bulb pops off and it's like, hey, like I have a possible job for you, So if we had more parks and recreation leaders going into schools, doing these mock interviews, going to career days, I feel like the kids, the people are out there for these positions. They just don't know it yet. They don't really understand that when they go to a park, yeah, the grass is cut, but all of that is done while they're at school. They don't, they don't know what all it takes, what all goes into that. So I absolutely believe that going to these schools and doing community outreach and stuff like that helps out and might have somebody a different career path than what they would normally choose.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Austin, let me ask you, with some of the construction things that you do, how important do you feel like it is to pass those skills down to the next generation?
I mean, I think it's extremely important, especially because most parents nowadays, they either, if they have some kind of DIY project, it turns into a, hey, I know a guy that can do that. They're not willing to try it. And I feel like most kids learn from trying and doing it by themselves. And most of the time I learn best by failing, and then I'll figure it out what not to do. So I feel like most kids can learn that way, and being more hands-on, it just gets more involved. More people learn better being hands-on, in my opinion. And it just keeps them engaged. And I think it's a lost, dying breed because it's just hard to teach kids because not many people know the skills. They've lost the skills over time.
Well, either they have the skills and don't have the patience sometimes. Craig and I talked the other day, and we constructed this character as grumpy old man who has all the information inside his head, and then we become reliant on that individual, and now he's no longer the grumpy old man. He's somebody that we want to learn from, and somebody that we know will actually make the job move a little quicker. So JK, I'm going to ask you a question, and since you have young children now, I want to ask you, how important do you feel like it is that mentoring children and teaching them like field preparation, athletic setups, turf practices like aeration, things like that? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think most of the time the kids, they just go out there and play. They don't really look at that picture of how did the field get ready? What does it take to have a nice field? When you're done playing, just respecting the field, teaching them that aspect. That teaches them a lot, though, character, and teaches them that things don't just happen, you can't just show up sometimes and everything's perfect, or you got to take care of the field after the games, if that's raking or doing that, and just explaining to them the big picture. It's a lot that goes on.
The unsung heroes, we're asked to be present, but we're asked to be invisible at the same time.
Yep.
It can be tricky business sometimes. Mario, I'm going to pivot to you real quick, and I just want to ask you, based off what you've learned from the watering can and mentoring the kids, how does that translate over into supervising adults at the end of the day?
What I say is, funny you should ask that, because what I was going to kind of butt in and say was, even though, it was geared for the kids, by me participating, I have built myself 2 decks and a fire pit. And I've learned those skills working in the watering can, not only assisting the kids, but also learning myself. And with those skills, some of the adults, the parents that were there was one that was there last year. He took note, and he was actually learning how to do some of the stuff. He didn't fully participate fully in all of it, but he did jump in. So I think it's a valuable skill for all parents that do participate, that they could apply the stuff at their own homes.
I really hope you make that fire pit with wood.
Hey, the man that needs no introduction, Alex, I have a question for you. Alex keeps us all accountable, doesn't he, fellas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my job. Accountability.
So let me ask you, Alex, so how does mentoring invested in employees improve daily operations? So we know what the outcome is with these kids, but when you shift it over into what we do daily, What are your thoughts? How do you feel about that? Has it changed your perspective at all?
To me, it makes us a stronger team. It gives us as a group a common goal. We come together, we build it, and I mean, it makes a tighter bond with us as a whole. And helping the kids is almost just like an extra. I mean, you know, it's a process we all dive in together. So it's just like it builds us together, you know.
Yeah, I've spoke on that before, and I think I highlight that every time I go and speak to a group. It's the unintentional consequences of what we've done here turned out to be a heck of a team building activity for all of you. You know, to be able to come together and have to share your ideas and sometimes cancel somebody else's idea. It was a great idea, but maybe it's not going to work for this. I know from my perspective, it was very fun to watch. I'd like for all of you guys to kind of chime in about what that initial experience was when we were sitting in that tiny little office talking about the unknown, which was the watering can.
I mean, to be honest with you, when you first sat us down, I thought, all right, you know, we're going to show them how to cut grass and weed eat, and what else do we know how to do? And when it came down to it, we didn't do any of that. We just showed them the skills that we, you know, learned in our 20 and 30, 40, 50 years, you know what I mean? It started out very messy on paper, you know, and then we just, as we were talking about it, we'd say, all right, well, this isn't going to work too well. This would work better, and, you know, just trial and error.
That first year, I was ready to give the kids the keys to the skid loader and let them take it for a ride, but nobody else was down for it.
He was. The government like, no, can't do that. We can't let them run the equipment like that.
How much can you hurt in a skid loader?
A lot.
What could go wrong?
So I'd like to hear from Risk on this. What do you think, Mario, about turning kids loose with a loader?
Absolutely not.
only if they get to race it.
We did bring in racing lawnmowers one night.
Yes.
Now
we're talking.
That was year 3.
Absolutely not.
That is one thing I learned is, I mean, we have a guy, our grumpy old mechanic, but boy, he is great with children, and those children love him. Yes. And that was a very surprising thing to see. He just
absolutely.
He knows how to talk to children better than he knows how to talk to adults. I mean, that's just, he's great with them. He really is. He's great with them.
My own son, my 14-year-old son, tells me every year at the watering can. So that's when he sees our guy, and I tell him, I'm like, "Did you have fun this weekend? Today?" And he's like, I just had fun, being around Kevin." And I look at him like, I'm your dad. Like, did you not have fun doing things with your dad? And he's like, "Oh, Kevin." And I'm like, I don't understand it.
That's the other great thing about this program is, like, I get to see a side of my staff that I never get to see. And like, I've got to see them be very uncomfortable. I've got to see them be halfway okay with it. And then I've seen them just dive all in, and you get to see people like our grumpy old mechanic who actually ends up being like the star of the show. That's fun for me to get to see the personal growth in people and to get to see a side of them that I don't get to see from, business hours. It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd like to comment a little bit on something Austin said about the experiential knowledge. For those who don't know, in a former life, I was a master electrician, and I actually trained, countless numbers of journeymen and master electricians. And, there's only so much knowledge you can get from a book, where at some point you just got to put the tools in their hands and show them how to do the task. And that's when the learning really begins. I remember a mentor of mine, he would say, I can either tell you the history of the wrench and all the different types and what they're used for, or we can just go take apart an engine and I can say, hand me that wrench. And instantly, what it's used for, how to use it. And that you really can't get that anywhere else than just picking a task and just doing it, experiencing it yourself real time.
Facts. I think we've told people that are newcomers, people that have been here like we'll say 3 years or less, right? There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. We done broke the wheel 4 or 5 times to get it to the point where we know it works this way. So let's just do it this way. You know, we'll have people sometimes that want to try to outthink somebody, and it's not even necessarily trying to it's not that we're trying to outthink you. It's that we have failed so many times that we know over our 20-year, 17-year, 11, 10, 8-year career here, what works, what doesn't work.
Yep.
Very good. I'd like to pivot. I don't know how much time we got left before we have to take a break here, Craig.
We can take it. We can take the break now. We're right at the 30-minute mark. Yeah. So actually, one of the show sponsors is Outdoor Link, and they help cities become smart cities.
Ooh, watch this.
So he might have one of their units. I'm not sure, but
Absolutely.
So this is a great prevention tool. It prevents these guys from having to get in a truck and turn off the lights that the coach left on a Sunday night because grandma's calling and saying, "Hey, these lights are on. I can't go to sleep." And so imagine having your entire city, all the infrastructure that's hooked to electricity. So your bathroom door locks, your splash pads, your parking lot lights, your baseball field lights, all being able to just control it with a swipe of a cell phone. And then you can program them to go off or on whenever you want. And so they actually did this for Lamar and have like 80,000 units across the country with every type of dirt diver and temperature swings. And that's just destroying their, I think they're on like the one you held up, Brian, I think is their version 8. So it's just constantly getting better and better and better. And they were one of our earliest sponsors. Great company out of Huntsville, Alabama. Their entire company is US based. And so when you pick up the phone to call for service, this will be one of 3 heavy accented Alabama ladies that will answer the phone and walk you through it. And our other show sponsor is Aaron Locks with the National Academy of Athletics. So if you've got a program that you don't want to run because you don't know anything about flag football or lacrosse, they'll actually pick up all the programs and run it for you, providing the coaching and the staff and everything. They partner with a ton of Parks and Rec departments, and they'll even run after school care or summer programs. So it's great company, both great companies to work with, and early sponsors of the Daily Parks and Rec Show and the Rec Room. So Jovi, why don't you go ahead and play those 2 promos, and we'll come back and finish up our conversation with Brian and his team.
In today's parks and recreation industry, communication, safety, and efficiency go hand in hand. That's where Outdoor Link comes in, delivering smart technology that empowers city departments and community planners to do more, smarter. Outdoor Link's platform connects and automates everything that keeps your parks running smoothly, from lighting and locks to signage, water features, Wi-Fi, and digital advertising. Control and schedule park lights for safety and energy savings. Remotely manage facility access. Coordinate fountains and splash pads. Provide public connectivity. All from one simple, unified platform, giving you real-time control, data, and cost efficiency. For parks and recreation agencies, that means safer spaces, smarter resource use, faster responses, and stronger community engagement. And behind every great park story is great infrastructure. That's why Outdoor Link proudly supports DPRS Media Company, helping the Daily Parks and Rec Show amplify the voices of professionals shaping our communities every day. Outdoor Link, smart, connected solutions for parks, recreation, and beyond.
They say it's just rec. Just rec, where kids learn to try again. Just rec, where confidence begins. Where teamwork, effort, and fun matter more than trophies. It's not about perfection. It's about participation. It's not just rec. It's where kids learn to love the game and themselves. It's just rec until they learn teamwork for life. It's just rec, but it's everything to them. It's more than rec. It's a movement. It's just rec until you realize it's shaping the next generation. Together, we're not just running programs, we're building a culture of confidence, connection, and community. Join us.
All right, we're back. Brian, what's our next topic?
So I'm interested to get into the nuts and bolts of what these guys actually do on a day-to-day. And so I'm going to start with Chris Colmenero. His team has really changed the overall look of our parks over the last few years. We struggled with a lot of weeds and a lot of breakthrough and things of that nature. And I just want to ask Chris, can you explain how our chemical program keeps our fields healthy and safe and efficient?
Yes. So every year we have a different program. It's similar, but we change it every year. We tweak it. We'll start out in the spring applying a pre-emergence herbicide, and that will prevent all of our summer weeds from growing on our fields. And overall, this helps with mowing and time efficiency with our crews. So eliminating the weeds, they're not growing as fast, so it keeps our crews not having to mow the same stuff over and over. And in the summertime, we apply growth regulators and fertilizer on our fields. That also slows down the grass even more, allowing the guys to have more time in their parks not doing mowing. In the fall time, we do another pre-emergent application, and that will prevent all of our winter weeds from growing, preventing the guys from having to mow through the winter when the grass isn't growing. So all of those practices really help us out with time efficiency. Something else that we've done new is overseeding all of our sports fields throughout the wintertime. It really protects the Bermuda grass while it's getting played on over the wintertime. If you don't have that, a lot of times on our football fields, they'll get chewed to the dirt. And in the springtime, we're just left with soil on our crowns. And it's really hard to bounce back in the summer, springtime.
Yeah, the pre-emergence and then the growth regulator has really helped a lot. The growth regulator in the summer, some of these guys know, like, they used to the football fields would be like hay fields almost. They would get so high, and that's really helping it stay tight and more like a, like not a golf course, but yeah, tight, way better playing surface.
Yep.
Does Chris and JK run the goats, or who's in charge of them guys?
I guess that would be a Brian project. We all enjoy the goats, but yeah, that would be. I'm the one that runs them. Chris and JK, their team does a phenomenal job making sure that everything's pristine and stays in shape. Some of that we have rotary mowers, but then we also have reel mowers for our sports fields, which provides a completely different cut. You can cut it down real low. I say sub 2 inches, sub 1 inch. We've cut grass when we were at the golf course. We used to cut grass down to 1/100 of an inch. Chris and JK, I'd like to know, could you tell all of America what are some key things people don't realize about reel mower care, grinding, and sharpening? Seems like every time I come into the shop, we got somebody working on that stuff.
Yes, so reel mowers are extremely finicky. So for those who don't know, a reel mower is a cylinder mower. It's like an old-timey push your yard. It's got a bunch of blades on it rather than a rotary mower with just one blade. They can get damaged extremely easily. They pick up any type of loose debris in your lawn. We grind our reels about every 3 weeks. It takes about 30 minutes a reel to grind, but you have to check your reels and make sure that they cut paper before every cut, because if not, they're going to tear the grass, rip the grass, and there will be a white kind of haze across the lawn, and it's just an undesirable look. So
disease too, possibly. Yeah, you're promoting possible disease. They're just like very finicky. If people run over anything with it, the littlest thing, it'll chip it. And it just, they're very finicky, and you got to take care of them really good.
Yeah, I mean, if we were at the golf course industry, I mean, them guys are constantly running over sand. They're constantly top dressing. I mean, they have to sharpen their reels almost every day, daily, every other day. A lot of them have reels that they swap out. So while some are being grinded, the others are out cutting. They have that luxury for sure. JK, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about the athletic fields and leagues. Talk to everybody and tell us a little bit about what goes into preparing for our athletic leagues and our tournaments.
So most of the year, it seems like about 6 months at least, we have 4 to 5 days a week. We got 4 fields up here for our adult softball league. And then we got a couple fields at Red Hawk. So it's roughly 6 fields during the prime. Every day they're doing them fields, dragging, lining, still making sure everything is right, side cutting. And that's we have 4 main crew for that. And that's pretty much what they do is take care of the fields. Yep. And they do
every day.
That we've gotten lucky with them. And it's just a grind though, every day doing the same thing, but they mix it up, dragging the fields different, just to make
a lot of recreation departments, Craig, they've gotten to the point where they're using more what you call skinned infields, which mean that there's no grass in the infield. They're just like softball fields. Mm-hmm. And they do that for multiple reasons. One, they can accommodate softball, adult softball, girls softball, but then they can also accommodate baseball because they'll just bring in temporary mounds. We have different base stops in the ground where we can accommodate different age groups. So skinned infields are a little more versatile when it comes to accommodating large groups of people.
They have weekends. They have to do the fields for Fridays all the time, changing, putting temporary fences. Yeah, it's always something different. It seems like we got senior leagues and they have a second home plate. So they have to incorporate that too some of the times, and L screens as well. So to protect the pictures.
It's a busy schedule all the time. Alex, I'm going to ask you a question because this kind of dives into what you do when it comes to our calendar and operations. What are some of the biggest challenges you have when it comes to your crews and operating and logistics, trying to get things across town and events and et cetera, et cetera?
Well, our biggest problems is everything that happens unexpectedly. Talking about this athletic staff has been an absolute saver for us. Like, it's a newer thing. It's probably been gone for 2 years, but our grass crews used to be the people that went out and got ready for tournaments, got ready for softball every night. So having those 4 guys has been an absolute blessing. And then before, about 6 months ago, we were also responsible for everything events. So that's everything. I mean, from tables, chairs, tents, everything, and stage. And it was like we're doing it weekly. So we recently actually got a 6-man event staff that's also been a great blessing for us. But the things that slow us down are still, Brian Dixon calling me and saying, hey, I know everybody's in their parks, but I need 15 tables delivered to Superior Court. Now, good luck. Figure it out. And it's like, okay, I'll do it. Those are the things. Or, we're Parks and Rec, but we also take care of, 43 facilities. I think half of them are contracted out. So that's a big pain in the butt for us. I mean, with Parks and Rec, rail cutting,
Trying to stay on schedule.
It's a lot. We take care of a lot of stuff. We're not just Parks and Rec. We're Parks and Rec, and hey, these people need this, and we're going to take care of it. I mean, we've gone out and taken care of cemeteries. It's just weird things that we do that really interrupt the day-to-day process for us.
There's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts there, isn't there, bud?
Yeah.
Mario, let me ask you, since there's so many moving parts there, I know that we keep you up at night by some of the things that we try to pull off when it concerns risk and safety. Can you talk to us a little bit about what goes through your head? I got to be careful there about what goes through Mario's head.
The moon is cheese.
Calm down, Alex.
Talk to me a little bit about the risk portion of it, and then talk to me a little bit about, like, some of the networking and relationship building that we have to do across departments to make sure that we can achieve our goals, because we don't always have these things in house. We don't always have equipment that we need in house. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I would start off by saying, one of the things when you think about safety, you're going to automatically think operations, as far as the equipment and day-to-day things, but all of that is correct in it. But the more so part of it all is the mental health of each individual worker. So, even though I go out and prior to me coming to this department, I would talk to the guys, make sure that their day is okay, their night was great the day before, because you got to have a right state of mind in order to operate. And one of the things I did notice, a lot of guys just jump on trucks and start driving, or they'll just get on equipment and just start mowing. And that's because a lot of us deal with things on a day to day, and nobody knows. The only thing we know is you got this to do, and you got to get this done today, and it's got to be done. But nobody really asks, how are you doing today? And so for me, on that safety aspect part of it, I don't look at just, the equipment and whatnot. That's part of it, yes. But it's more so, how are you doing? How was your day? You're not looking good to me. Talk to me. What's going on? What's in your mind? So that's that. It's that big broad picture with the safety, and it's with me with the networking. I try to communicate with a lot of people. With that, the one thing I can say, when you communicate, it makes things a little bit easier. And when I say easier, once again, coming prior to the department, a lot of departments don't communicate. They look at their things as, this is my stuff. And with us, we touch everybody. Parks and Recs touch every part of the community, every part of the day-to-day operations of the county. No matter what department it is, Parks and Recs got a hand in it. And so with that, I'm like, hey, we're here. You're gonna need this, you're gonna need that. How can you help us help you? And at the same time, we need these things so we can help you. So case in point, we are doing a demolition at Warren Holder. There's equipment that we don't have. And because we don't have this equipment, I'm able to go and talk to the guys, because prior to me coming once again to the Parks and Recs department, those guys were having a department issue. The morale was down. So I went over there and I talked to all of them, those who were struggling. I built the morale up. They never forgot that. So now, like, we need certain things done. I just pick up the phone, or if Brian say, hey, can you reach out and say this? We need this done. I call them up, or I text them, say, hey, we need X, Y, and Z done. Can you assist? And most of the time they're on it right there, Johnny, on the spot. So it's important to keep that communications, and that's what I do for the department.
Yep. We try to keep good relationships across the board with all the other departments, whether it be building maintenance, DOT, animal control, you name it. I mean, a lot of your services depend on us daily. And you do such a good job bridging the gap between departments, especially for us. Because sometimes we're the ones that may get left out, or we may be deemed not trained enough, which is far from the case. I have a lot of guys here that are probably more trained than most of the people they have on their own staff, which is fine. We don't mind doing the things. We're team players. I'd like to move towards Austin a little bit, because one, he's a quiet soul, so I have to check on him, make sure he has a pulse every now and then. You all right, Austin? You doing all right
All
over
right,
there?
I'm good. I'm just listening.
All right. So what I'd like for you to do, because you do a lot of our construction stuff, you and James, I'd like to ask, can you talk about some of the projects that you've been involved in recently, and maybe what was one of the projects that was like the most challenging for you?
Okay, so recently we were working on a horse corral behind our new shop, and it's 140 by 60 horse corral. It's got a lean-to on it, and we built everything in-house, and it is stout. There's no you could contract it out and it would be half of what we did. I believe our work it'll stand up for 100 years. We
Craig,
put a lot of time and
you put a second level on top of the roof that they built. I can tell you that now.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did it right the first time. That's one thing about us is if we can do it right the first time, we're going to do it right the first time. In the past years with Parks and Rec, there were people that would just Band-Aid things. And then 5 years down the road, you're fixing it. And then a year down the road, you're fixing it. And we got to the point now we're going to fix it right and do it once and move on to the next project because we got so many projects lined up. Another project we worked on, I actually built a conference table. I wish you could see it, Craig, because
It's beautiful.
I was experimenting with the paint scheme on the table, and it actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting for a first time gig. And it's a stout table. It's made out of 2x8s.
Yeah.
It is
So,
heavy.
Explain to Craig about the process and how long it took you to do that table, because it is a very beautiful table. We're very proud of it. Our leadership team sits around it every day. Tell us a little bit about that, the process in which you had to do that.
Yeah, so the whole tabletop is 2x8 treated. It's non-treated lumber, non-pressure treated lumber, and I had to take a wire wheel to the entire board. The table's 10 foot long. I had to take a wire wheel to the entire board to get all of the soft wood material out of the lumber to kind of define the grain of the wood. And then I stained all the boards black and then painted our color scheme, the blue and green. I painted lines across the table, and then I sanded through those colors so the stain is actually in the soft wood material, and then the paint is on the grain of the wood. And so I sanded it down so you can actually see all the grains, and the grains are blue and green, and the table's got the black accents, and it's nice. I put a thick polyacrylic top coat on it. I was impressed. It took me a lot of time. I probably have, in total hours, I probably have 20 to 30 hours in the top.
Yeah, my one of my old teachers used to always say, he was a master electrician, one of those old timers. He used to always tell me, he said, Craig, if you don't have time to do it right, you better make time to do it over.
Absolutely.
And I live by that.
Yep.
That's right. I think we got one more question in us. And I want to hit on I think I have. Did I talked about the outreach program with Shane and getting into the schools, correct?
Yes.
All right, very good. I'm all over the place sometimes, guys. Y'all know that.
No, not you.
You got your notepad wrote down?
Where's my phone?
Don't forget to make your Instagram post, Brian.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, guys, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Craig, you got any questions for this staff? They're an open book, I promise you. And if you pry on Alex a little bit, you'll see the professional clown in them.
Yeah. I was curious how the robotic mowers are going. I know y'all kind of dipped your toe in that a little bit. Are y'all finding them still a little quirky? Are you using them, or what's that look like?
So let me explain. I guess I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. This was kind of an ask for forgiveness, not permission situation. So we presented the county with a quote to do X amount for a lot of our government facilities, but while they were looking at that, we went and bought 3 of them, and we've had them for a while. And then they built a new aquatic center. It's a very nice aquatic center, and we were struggling to kind of get the power that we needed in the places that we wanted to run our trials in. Well, once they started building this new aquatic center, it's new construction, so we just tapped into them, and we strategically put the mowers out and about at the facility. Shane and Alex and Austin and them guys went over there and took care of that and got everything mounted up. I got news today, Shane, that all the power should be run by today. The equipment should be charged up fully, and then Monday we're going to go connect them all and get them off and running.
Sweet.
So we can check back in on the robot mowers.
Yeah.
But I've seen them for at least 10 years at different turf expos and things like that, field days, and I mean, they do a phenomenal job. I everything that I've seen, they're exactly what the world needs, truthfully.
Yeah. I have a question for everybody. What's one lesson that you learned that you can highlight from a mentor?
Who's first?
You go first, Brian.
Repeat the question, Craig. He needs some time to gather his thoughts.
So think of an old timer that when you were growing up, learning lessons, didn't know anything, that somebody kind of took the time to invest in you and teach you something that you still kind of carry with you today.
I would say that probably my grandfather. I can't name it on. I can't put it on one. I really can't. But I can say that it was family. I can say that it was my grandfather. He was 28 years retired military. Fought in the Battle of the Bulge, World War II guy. I think I got his discipline. You know, I think that's pretty much what he instilled in me, with the discipline. The work ethic, I think I got from my mother and my father. Both of them were very hands-on. They were small business owners. I've seen my mother cut grass, tote weed eaters, clean toilets. I've seen my mother pressure wash tractor trailers in 33-degree weather. So if I had to put it out there, I'd put it out there for my family, my mother, my father, my grandparents, those closest to me, who probably took the time to show me everything that I've pretty much learned, except for the certifications and things that I've done here and college classes. But as far as like the core, it would have to be my family.
I'd have to say that my dad and my grandmother, my dad and my grandfather. My grandfather owned a restaurant and a plumbing and hardware store. So when I was 4 or 5 years old, I was running the cash register for him. I learned how to count money and, you know, make change and stuff like that. I learned my work ethic at a very young age. Me and my brother would be away in the summertime because we'd be up there at the hardware store with them. And my grandfather's just tired of it. He's like, I'm going to build y'all a stand. Y'all are going to sell vegetables. And so for like 6 or 7 years, me and my brother every summer would go to the farmer's market with my grandfather, and we would haggle on price, buy fruits and vegetables, and we would sell, and we would make a profit every year. We were in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution one year. It said, boys will be boys, but some will be businessmen. Having my grandfather and my dad in my life, they really instilled that work ethic in me, and had me turning wrenches when I was 7 or 8 years old. I remember replacing and rebuilding a rear end in my dad's '89 Silverado when I was like 8 years old. So that has helped me be as mechanically inclined as I am, and I try my best to let that go further with my kids and the kids in the watering can. So I'm not so much on the backside of the watering can as I'm hands-on. I'm teaching the kids the correct way to do things, how to measure things correctly, and I try to instill in these kids what was instilled with me while I was growing up.
My grandfather just told me, if you're going to be stupid, you better be tough.
Or you better record it.
He's tough. That boy's tough right there. But one thing that and I don't know who said it, a couple of years, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I was, they told me buy into what we're doing here. It might have been Brian, Shane, I don't remember. But that totally changed your perspective. Like, it's no longer a job, it's a career, and that changed it for me. If you would have asked me 7 or 8 years ago, would I still be at Parks and Rec? Not a chance, but I bought in, and that changed everything. And that's why they're forcing me to present at conference and forcing me to do podcasts and step out of my comfort zone because I do not like it. As much as outgoing as I am, I hate doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Hate it. But,
Yeah, if you find a way to stay in your comfort zone, let me know. I'm still struggling with that one.
well, I know how to stay in my comfort zone. It's not doing these things.
I tell them to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
There you go.
Yep.
Be the calm in the storm.
Chris and JK, y'all got anybody that resonated in your life growing up?
Yeah, I'd say my mom, my stepdad, my grandparents, just work ethic. My mom and stepdad are both hard workers. I grew up working with my stepdad, so he was that mentor, just always teaching me things and telling me the right things to do and show me the right way. So, yeah, just having those people in my life definitely steered me in the right way.
Yeah. Along with my parents as well, but it was also be a good person, you know. That was one of their main things. So, along with the hard work, you know, be a good person. It's your best thing you can do.
It's easy to do the right thing, isn't it, JK?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Mario, what about you?
Well, I have three, and would be my grandmother, mother, and my father. With those three is collectively, which produce an adaptive skill for me. And my grandmother, she used to smack me in my mouth if I said something. She was always tell me, be quick to listen and slow to speak. And so my mother, what she used to do, she used to have me watch the things that she did. She was persistent. If things were tough, she'd continue to press on. And with my father, he just didn't really care. You know, he was nonchalant, if you will. So I took all those things from them, and thus you have me. I don't get angry as fast. You know, most people get angry about things. I don't. I can go in a crowd, and however the crowd is, I can adapt to that crowd. So I've learned from them to be who I am today.
Craig, it's a good thing because Mario's the biggest one about all of us, and he's just as strong as he may look. Hey, Mario, I want to take something from your grandmother, and every time Alex gets out of whack, I want to pop his mouth.
Get him a
I'm
shot.
gonna body slam him. Don't worry, I'll body slam him. Hey, you see this over here? Huh? You see it?
You know what? Mario influenced my life. Without him, I wouldn't know the Earth was flat. The moon is cheese.
It's not cheese. It's a flashlight.
No, today's a flashlight.
That's it. Hey Brian, I think you could hook up that outdoor link to a couple of shot collars, and then you can
I think
get it on your phone.
Take care. Yeah, I don't know if that'd work with Alex. I think he'd just keep on.
Probably.
Austin, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you who's your mentor growing up?
James Newton.
No, absolutely not. My mom, my dad, my granddad, I mean, they instilled that work ethic in me. Just show up, do the right thing, always be there, always be present, listen, pay attention, all the little things. I mean, my granddad's in his 80s. He's still working on cars, tinkering and being mechanically inclined. They taught me a lot, just tinkering with things growing up, riding four-wheelers and breaking them and fixing them and tearing apart carburetors and rejetting the carburetors and just little things that I'm trying to pass down to those kids in the watering can that maybe their parents didn't teach them growing up. The certain things, how to change a tire, how to check your oil, how to read the date code on a tire to see when it's going to go bad, check for dry rotted tires, like little things like that I learned as a kid that I'm trying to pass to these young kids and young adults.
I know your daddy. I'm sure you didn't learn just like, Austin, come over here and look at this.
No. I definitely got yelled at for holding the flashlight wrong. That's for sure.
Right, boy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Well, Craig, this is my team. They are absolutely the best in the business, hands down. As I travel all over the place, it becomes even more apparent to me how talented these guys truly are, and they all bring their own niche to the table. I'm telling on myself again. Very rarely, besides Alex, I tell him what to do, but all the rest of them, I really give them no direction. I let them feel their way throughout their day. They have their own calendars. They know what's important to me, and they make sure that it's all done correctly. Alex is the only one that has to stay on all the time.
You're the one that feeds me a bunch of crazy stuff, and I got to make it happen.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for coming on the show today. Definitely don't take for granted the camaraderie y'all have between each other. I miss those days when I was surrounded by all these master electricians that we used to cut up and joke around and still produce, just high degrees of mastery in our professions. And I don't do that anymore. Now I'm working with Jovi and a bunch of stage managers and building the media company. But I loved my days working with craftsmen, doing the kind of work y'all do. So definitely don't take it for granted.
Awesome. I think that we know how special it really is. I think that's something that we do talk about openly with each other about the culture. And I think that stems from some of us being here as long as we've been here, because it hadn't always been that way, to no fault of anyone else's. But I think to have a positive culture is something that you have to be truly intentional about every day.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all doing this with us, producing another great piece of content, especially on the facilities maintenance side. For those not aware, facilities maintenance is easily half of the money spent, and the man hour spent is just going on behind the scenes, keeping our parks beautiful so that the programmers can come in and actually have a beautiful place to run their programs. So thank y'all for all the work y'all do for Henry County, Georgia. Keep up the great work, and hope you have a great rest of y'all's week.
Thank you, Craig.
Y'all take care. That's a wrap, Jovi.
In the parks and recreation industry, attention is limited, but influence is everything. Every day, thousands of parks and recreation professionals make critical decisions. Decisions on infrastructure, programs, technology, and vendors. The question is your brand part of that conversation? DPRS Media Network was built to answer that question. We are a dedicated media ecosystem focused exclusively on the parks and recreation industry in the United States. Through a network of daily and weekly shows, we inform, connect, and influence this audience. Our distribution spans multiple platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, plus email campaigns, newsletters, podcasts, and live event coverage. This is not a single-channel strategy. It is a multi-platform media engine. Today, our network reaches over 214,000 connections, including 51,000 on LinkedIn, 64,000 on Facebook, nearly 40,000 email subscribers, and thousands more across podcast and social platforms. While some audiences overlap, our true value is not just reach, it is relevance. We speak directly to parks and recreation directors, program managers, and industry leaders, an audience that is highly targeted and actively engaged. Through DPRS Media Network, your brand integrates seamlessly into this ecosystem. Through sponsored show segments, targeted advertisement placements, podcast features, and host-read promotions, even custom branded content. Not as interruptions, but as part of the conversation. And we don't just operate online. We attend over 15 major parks and recreation conventions each year, reaching more than 24,000 professionals in person. Through live shows, interviews, and on-site media coverage, we position our partners at the center of the industry. Every piece of content we produce is amplified across our entire network. Multiple shows, multiple hosts, multiple platforms. Your message doesn't appear once, it multiplies. This is more than advertising. It is strategic positioning within a trusted media network built specifically for the parks and recreation industry. If your goal is to reach decision makers, build credibility, and stay top of mind, then it's time to partner with DPRS Media Network. Apply for partnership or sponsorship today. Let's position your brand where the industry is already paying attention.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities?
At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.